As you can probably tell by the fact that the heater is not going and the radio is not making annoying sounds in the back and the engine is not running, that my car is currently off, and that's because it won't turn on, which is great because I have a college class in an hour and it is too far for me to walk from my high school and get there. I think actually, I don't know, maybe if I ran, but it's really cold outside and I don't want to. So yeah, we have a shortened schedule because it's Wednesday at my high school, so my class won't start for a while, which is fine because my mom's gonna come take me there. But yeah, car's not working, that sucks. I was planning to film some stuff anyway, so I guess I'll do that now. I was planning to do it when I got to the college, but since I'm not gonna be in my own car at that point, I'm just gonna do it now because I had some thoughts and you're just gonna get a lot of weird angles because I don't have the energy to deal with this iPad being stupid. So, the thing I wanted to talk about today is, using my quote dead name, quotes, because I don't necessarily consider it a dead name, but just, it's not the name that I prefer people use. And the reason that this came up is because, twice in the recent past, school officials have said that they were going to use my preferred name at events, and then they didn't. And I don't mind if people don't use my preferred name. Like, if you decide to use my other name, then, like, cool. In general, that's fine. But if you say that you're going to use my preferred name, and then you don't, that's a little different, especially if it's, like... You know, you're like, okay, I'll make sure that that's right, I'll have everyone change it, and then you get there and they're like, actually, we didn't. Like, if you don't do anything about it, I don't mind, but don't tell me you're going to, and then not. In general, I respond to both names that I have. The preferred name that I usually go by is AJ, and at school, most people call me that. Mainly people that didn't know that I go by another name now because I don't see them very often are people who used to know me at my old school, that have transferred, call me by my, like, quote dead name. I'm just gonna say dead name, but you know that I don't mean it exactly the same just because I don't want to say complicated things. Most of the people that call me by my dead name are like my parents do, and people that only know it because they, like, only see my government name, which is, like, my dead name on things, and they only see it like that, which is understandable because, like, if you don't know, then you don't know, and that's fine. Also, people at my parents' church, because they don't know, and if they did, I don't think they would anyway, just because they're not into that, and all of that. And for pronouns, when people ask, I will say, that I use they, them, but if people use she, her pronouns for me also, again, I'm not going to be super offended, and if people use he, him pronouns for me, I'm going to be like, oh, cool, like, I'm actually, quote, passing, because I don't really try to pass, but as a non-binary person, there's not a specific look, so it's just cool, like, if someone thinks that I'm a guy, I'm like, cool, down for that, just, you know, considering that most people see me as female, it's interesting when people don't, but yeah, so, just generally, when I'm introducing myself to people, I will, introduce myself as AJ, and the only people that I really prefer to call me both are my parents, because they my mom is nice enough when she is introducing me to people to also introduce me as AJ, like when we were doing job interviews, and she came with me because I was like very much a minor, still am, but like that was when I was 16, and I need someone to drive me to all of them. Yeah, so if she was there, she'd be like, yeah, then so that was appreciated, but mostly my family doesn't use my preferred name because they don't really, like, they are aware of the fact that I identify as non-binary, but they don't acknowledge it, and that's one of the main reasons that I prefer people to pick one and then just stick with it, because when you use my, like, dead name, it doesn't, I want to say that it shows me what side you're on, but it's not like I am super offended or I, like, hate you if you're on the other side or just, like, don't acknowledge it. It's just that it lets me know who acknowledges it and who doesn't. So, like, the church people who don't really believe in the concept of non-binary people, or, acknowledging that, not using my preferred name, I'm like, thanks, that lets me know. And same with my parents. And then in just day-to-day life, like, people who are my friends, some friends, like, I know when some friends do it and, like, other friends don't, like, they don't mean anything by it. The thing that to me is a bit annoying is when people use both. And if you're just figuring it out and you, like, I just told you that I changed it, then, like, cool, slip-ups are okay, but so when they were introducing me, I went to a Rotary luncheon because I have good grades, and they were like, cool, good grades equals nice human, and then they gave me a piece of paper that said I was a nice human. My principal was introducing me, and he first said my dead name, then quick corrected himself, said my preferred name, but then throughout the rest of his speech, he just continued to use my dead name because, I don't know, it just seemed easier for him, and, like, that's fine, but, because it's my government name, and so that's really the only one he knows, but at the same time, like, if you know you're not going to be able to stick to it, then just don't use it, because it's not a nickname. It's not like this is the name that they put in quotes between your first name and your last name when you're a spy or something. Like, it's my name. I know that sometimes on those sheets that teachers give you where they, like, put your name and then your nickname just so that people don't have to, like, be called out, and then also for people who do have nicknames by, like, if you go by Josh and your name is Joshua, that kind of thing. But, like, for me, that's not what it is. It's, like, an actual name. And, again, like I said, pronouns doesn't make it that much of a difference to me, like, just because sometimes in a sentence it's hard to use they, them pronouns. I get that, especially if you're not used to it, so it's okay, but, like, at my college, people are super chill about it. They're very, if they mess up, that they acknowledge it, and then, or, like, if it's a little slip up, they'll be like, and, I mean, I mess up too sometimes, so, like, I don't mind the messing up. It's just that I would prefer if you pick one so that I know where you stand in regards to that, because for me it's just like an acknowledgement of my identity, and it's kind of like a respect thing, like, my professor prefers people to call her Dr. Johnson because she earned that degree and she wants people to use it, and also she gave us, like, a little bit of a, not like a lecture, but just an explanation about it when she was introducing herself to us, and I mean, I think that's very important, and I do my best to call her that because, that's what she wants, and, that's a sign of respect. So, yeah. Not sure where I was going with that, but, I feel like you guys know what I mean. So, yeah, that's just my little rant, explanation, talk about my preferred name versus my quote-quote dead name, and then pronouns, and just how I personally prefer that to be. And obviously, other people are gonna have other opinions about their own names, and all of that, and definitely when you're socially transitioning from one name to another and one set of pronouns to another set of pronouns, like, people are gonna mess up, and I'm not mad about that. Like, if you make a mistake, it's fine. Don't worry about it, but just pick one. And yeah, and for some people, there are certain situations in which it's more safe for them if you use their dead name and pronouns because they're not out to that section of people, or it's just not a safe place for you to be out. But personally, in my personal situation, there are no places where I am not out. Even at my work, I didn't put non-binary on the sheet because they didn't have an option for it. And I don't know if that's a thing that people in the main culture of the people that I work with acknowledge, but I do go by my preferred name most of the time there. And most of them are pretty good about it. So, yeah. I hope this video was informative to you guys. I am waiting for my mom to pick me up. And yeah, I'm aware that the lighting is probably super weird, but we're in a truck that doesn't work. So, yeah, have a great day.